All right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG, and we've got another Sub Sunday deck for you. This is Arcades Defenders. Some of you are triggered already. Yes, there is an S missing. We'll just leave it at that and go from there. I'm probably going to leave the thumbnail up. I want to see what happens in chat. See if people don't even watch this part and they just instantly start. I don't know. We're going to see. Anyway, it'll be fun. So we've got a really cool deck here. Now this is by Blob Boy Justin. A lot of you guys probably know him as Justin Clay. This is an interesting deck, and there's a lot of people that want to be brewing around Arcades, the strategist here. Now this is Bant colors and 1. You get a 3/5 flying vigilance. Whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Alright, see, now I like where this is going. There's a lot of really cool interactions we can do. We've got some 0/3s, right? 0/3s with reach that can swing, and they're swinging for 3 damage. That's a 3/3. All right, our suspicious bookcase is a 2 mana 4/4. All right, when Arcades is down, this gets pretty good, and you could just pay 3 mana and target creature can't be blocked this turn. So maybe you want to get through with one of your big walls, your 4 mana 6/6s, right? That you could actually just pay 2 additional mana and it becomes indestructible, right? Okay, so there's some interesting things here. The one that I am most worried about, though, is we really don't have a way to protect Arcades. Now, we have ways to bounce things, so we're not really worried about an opposing Ixalan's Binding. They Ixalan's Binding our Arcades. Hopefully we can Ixalan's Binding their Ixalan's Binding, or cast it out, or something along those lines. And if we can do that at a prime time, if you will, then probably just going to have a blowout here. So there's a lot of other really good cards here. Another 2 mana 4/4 if you have your Arcades out. Otherwise, none of these creatures are really impactful unless you have the Arcades. So we are going to kind of have to play this deck in a way that we want to get that Arcades down, but we kind of use it as a kill spell. I play this now at alpha attack, kind of like an overrun. So we need to watch out for things like Settle the Wreckage and stuff of that nature. But I'm pretty excited to be playing some reach creatures, which this doesn't trade really well with a Heart of Kirin, but it can definitely buy you some time. Now, we are running Settle the Wreckage, so they're wanting to they get in the habit of swinging. They got to swing with a couple of their dudes into our 0/4s and such. We can they'll get in the habit of swinging. We're blocking. They're swinging. We're blocking, and then all of a sudden Settle the Wreckage will take all of their cards, and that's going to be great for us. Now, one defender that is a little bit out of place for me is Golden Guardian. Now, Golden Guardian in this deck is going to be actually really hard to flip. I believe that we're going to have to set him up to block a large creature, and then at instant speed actually make him fight one of our other creatures. So not only do we have to have the mana available to make him fight, which is just 2. It's not that hard, but we do have to have another creature on the battlefield so that he can fight. And most of those he's going to kill. But if you can flip Golden Guardian, it's going to be great. Now, I know some of you are like, but if Arcades is out, so each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness. Now, when Golden Guardian his ability is activated, Golden Guardian fights another target creature you control. Now, the fight mechanic is not combat damage, okay? So that is not going to happen as you might want it to. Your creatures aren't actually 6/6s, so they're going to assign their power to the other creature as damage, that creature will assign its power to your Golden Guardian, so the power will be 0. So the fight mechanic will not flip this in this deck. In fact, there's actually no card in the deck that can fight it and just kill the Golden Guardian. So the only way that we're going to have to flip this, even if Arcades is out, you cannot you cannot just fight without some additional help. The only way we're going to flip this is block with it, and then after we've blocked, then maybe we can fight, or fight with something before damage is dealt, so that when it dies in the block, we can flip it there. But that's kind of our only hope. All right, another win con, of course, is Teferi. We do have a little bit of a control element here. We've got our Settle the Wreckages, and we can take our time here with all of our defenders. It looks like we're going to be pretty smooth there. I love the Memorial to Geniuses in the deck. The deck's got a lot of really good 2-mana creatures that can buy us a lot of time. So these lands coming in tapped later is not going to be as big of a problem for me, or at least in my mind, they don't seem like they're going to be as big of a problem as they are in some other decks. So running 3 of them seems really good here. Now, I am a little on the fence about the number of blue lands here. We've only got the 8, and then there's no basics to search up. So if someone does decide to pop a blue land, we are going to have a little bit of a problem going and getting a basic. There's no island, so I do this from time to time in my Grixis decks, and I understand the only thing we really need is Arcades or Teferi, and the opponent trying to keep us off of blue may or may not happen. But I think with the amount of colorless cards in the deck, we could actually afford to have an island in here somewhere. So I mean, we are trying to go heavy on the white, but I don't think we're as heavy into green as we're showing in the mana. So I think there's some room there to back off on a little bit of the green, and we may even talk a little bit later about removing these walls of vines altogether for something along the lines of Dive Down or even Blossoming Defense. Now, if we did make a move for adding Blossoming Defense or Dive Down, there's a couple things to take in consideration. All right, so first off, you have, either one of them are going to protect your Arcades, but how good will they be if you don't have an Arcades? And that's kind of the question. It's like, can you even spin them if there's not an Arcades? Is there any value other than I just need to save this creature if you don't have Arcades down? So in that aspect, I actually think that Blossoming Defense, which is 1 green mana, and this would actually give you the ability to make some of your defenders actually have a power, so they could actually fight back against some of these other creatures. If you're wanting to kill a Glint Sleeve Siphoner that's just swinging into you because it doesn't care, your opponents, your defenders, yeah, you can put 2 in front of it. They just want to draw cards off of it anyway. So maybe a Blossoming Defense might be better there, just being able to get a little bit of extra action out of it in those situations where you didn't have Arcades, but you really needed to remove something. But as far as the card draw in the deck goes, it's going to be pretty phenomenal if we get a Mentor of the Mink down. Mentor is just going to draw cards all day with this deck. Pretty much the only 2 cards in the deck that do not draw cards with a Mentor of the Mink are Arcades himself, or herself, Arcades, I don't know. Is there something in the no flavor text? And Golden Guardian. So everything else triggers the Mentor. We don't really have to talk about Teferi much. He's just all around, good card. It's going to draw some extra cards, let us, be untapped for activating abilities, things like that. Late game untapping the Golem land, things like that could get completely out of hand. Now, we do have some Thopter Arrest here, and I actually like the choice for Thopter Arrest because it doesn't just get a creature, you can also get an artifact, which is actually really good against, those Gate to the Afterlife decks, but not so much so for a God Pharaoh's Gift deck that's using Refurbish. Because of the sorcery speed, you're still going to bring this in, but because of the sorcery speed, like the God Pharaoh's Gift deck, they're going to hit you for a large amount before you can actually get this out. But then again, exiling it and being done with it, and only taking the 1 hit in the air could be just fine. And with the defenders, we might be just fine with that, being able to allow them to have one of their dudes. Next here we have Shala, Voice of Plenty, which fits really well into the deck and can actually start to pump your defenders. And this could probably even be main board worthy just for the pump ability alone. I mean, late game, your 0/4s and things like that, they're really cheap. You're going to be able to play them and you're going to be able to activate these abilities. I'm actually expecting this deck to be able to reach into the late game because of its defensive abilities. I mean, just the amount of defenders, the amount of reach, it takes a lot of hardy creatures to be able to get over these dudes. So I really like all the 4 toughness here. But they're going to be hard to burn. There's 2 copies of Approach of the Second Sun in the deck, which, I mean, again, we're going late game. We might want to shift into that control aspect. We're bringing in the negates, the spell pierces, River's Rebuke, bounce all of their things. Their enchantments and stuff that might have our Arcades under them. We get our Arcades back, swing for lethal. I think we're going to have some of those alpha swing type gameplays in this deck, but as is, we're going to jump into some gameplay and see what happens here. So let's grab our Arcades deck. We'll just host. It was Wet Toilet Paper is our opponent. Wet toilet paper. Alright, well, good luck. Have fun. The hand's not like horrible. Turn 2, we can start putting down walls. The hand's also not great, but I really don't want to ship it. I think I'm going to keep it. Assuming he's not like a super fast deck. Alright, here we go. Hopefully we'll get to the extra white sources and we can get us a good settle the wreckage in. We'll get our green source down, and then next turn we'll get a memorial and play Wall of Vines. We've got 2 turns to start drawing land. Still leaf. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. We are about to get run over. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Come on, land. If we don't hit a land, we have to cycle here. Adventurous Impulse. He still has 3 mana available. Elvish Clan Caller. Plays another Still Leaf Champion. Okay, so yeah, we're digging for land. So we'll go ahead and cycle. Got an irrigated farmland, which is actually pretty good. I mean, we're taking a ton here, but we do have an out. An untapped source off the top would be what we need to be able to stay in this game. We could play around, with having settled the wreckage twice. We could definitely. Oh, we need an untapped source off the top. Untapped mana source off the top. Elvish Clan Caller. Aether Sphere Harvester. And that's going to be game. Okay. Still Leaf Champion. He don't care about no Gleaming Bear. He don't care about no Wall of Vines. He's an elf. He just like climb up them vines, be all over it. Still Leaf. Man. Alright. So what do we want? Shala, Voice of Plenty to be in the air, to be able to block the Aether Sphere Harvesters. I mean, we can block Aether Sphere with, our defenders, but Wall of Vines is early, but it's just not going to do it. So I'm gonna take that out. I'm bringing in Shala and all of our creature kill here. I also think that this would be a good Golden Guardian matchup. Mentor is going to be okay. Barrier will be alright. We'll have to take care of the battlefield before we can actually start swinging anyway. River's Rebuke's probably going to be good. Be able to deal with Galtas and things. Let's take out the other bookcase and then just kind of run like this. Not. I wanted to bring in approach, but I don't know if it's the right approach. See what I did there? Oh man, puns. 3 mana. This is much better. This is much better. All right, I'm going to keep. So we'll irrigated farmland, and then like this is definitely got to be a bad matchup. I mean, just the Still Leaf Champions alone, they run over the deck. All right. I think I go barrier here. And then next turn I'll go Memorial to Genius and our planes on turn 4. This way we're untapped on 4. Alright, so there's a lieutenant. A mentor. Okay. See, that kind of changes things. That actually changes things a lot. I'm just going to do this now. And pass. This way we can, Gleaming Barrier next turn. And have the mana open to play another, or to draw a card, which seems good. Although Thopter Arrest. Thopter Arrest Go seems good too. All right. Not that we can actually attack here. Marwyn the Nurturer. All right. So, I mean, he's going to have a lot of mana here. This is like Elf Tribal. Well, we can start putting down walls, but personally I would rather like draw another card, try a little bit more mana. Yes, we would love to draw. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Because that means we could actually get rid of the Thorn Lieutenant. I mean, yeah, he gets a one, like, create an Elf Warrior, but I mean, he just had a really fast draw last game. Like, just having answers to Steel Leaf Champion, I think, is what we have to do. We can kind of stop everything else. Okay. So Rishkar is definitely going to make this bigger. I mean, we can just start putting down walls. Maybe Ixalan's binding Marwyn. This way he can't get, more. Ooh. Want to make this bigger, huh? Okay. Come on, land off the top so I can just play this wall and draw a card. Missing our land drops has been like the biggest problem here. Another lieutenant. There's a land drop. So we'll play another wall. We will draw a card because we want to do that. And pass the turn. Again, we're just kind of setting up for just this awesome alpha swing. The more we put out, the more he has to put out, the more he has to put forward before he can even attack. Cultivator of Blades. Wow. All right. And it is an elf. Fabricate 2. Wow, he's going for it right now. All right, so let's move to blocks. We'll block here. Let's fix this. We'll block here. We'll block here. Take 2. Okay, so he did 0 damage to us. So I think we just pass here. I kind of wish this land would have been untapped, but we just pass. I mean, he got in for 2 damage. We could have Ixalan's binding this. Another lieutenant. Thorn Lieutenant's actually really good. And he doesn't want to swing. Of course not. Of course he doesn't want to swing. This seems good. I mean, he can swing for a lot here, but I don't think we die. It'd be a big chunk, but he would have to put a lot in. Wow. So we're going to lose a lot here. Even Atlanta Ward. Ooh. Yeah, it's actually too much. So, well, maybe I should have just held up the settle forever. Let's jump into another. Let's see what happens here. I mean, no Arcades. We just get kind of beaten down. It's we're trying to be aggressive, as in, you know, we want to kill the opponent, but without Arcades, you can't really do that. So hopefully we'll do better this game. All right, here we go. Game 2 with our Arcades, Defenders, trigger, thumbnail trigger. All right, I just assume, you know, fella, whatever. If it's a lady, then ma'am. I'm going to keep. Again, we're keeping a 2 mana, but and they're slow. What's the land situation in this deck? 24? Kind of really only need 4, right? I mean, like, rule of thumb on on lands is, you want 20 plus whatever turn you want to be able to reliably get to. So if you want to reliably get to, turn 5, play 25 lands. If you want to reliably get to turn 6 and cast Gear Hulk, then you probably want 26. Ramp decks, some of them, they're wanting to keep hitting lands even though they're thinning their decks. Those decks probably want to run 27, 28 lands, something like that. So I mean, I think this deck kind of tops out at like 4, and then everything after that is Mentor the Meek draw. So yeah, I can see that. We just gotta get lucky here. Heart of Kieran against another green deck. Well, I mean, it did show a victory there. Mono green getting work done. I could have played the blocker for the Heart of Kieran, but I think we kind of got to get set up here. And I don't know if any of this is going to work. Like, we may just have to start playing back-to-back Consulate Skygates and just chump blocking the Heart of Kieran. Like, I think defenders need a little bit more to them. Okay, it has reach, and when it dies, draw a card, or something like that. It's such a downside to have defender that the card has to be phenomenally priced before you even consider running it, or you have to have some other card to actually activate it. So I'm not a huge fan of defender. See, here he's got, a Land of War Elf. He can't actually crew the Heart of Kieran, and we're stuck on mana. This is horrible. This is bad. I don't think that's any fault of, like, creation or whatever. I think this is like just the way it is. Just the way it is. Ooh, kill one of our defenders. So it actually did something. It worked as a kill spell. So, like, now yeah, that's what I figured. Never get rid of your. Do we block? I think we do. Or do we not? We take the first 4. Maybe we'll draw into lands. Like, any color really sets us up for Arcades. We can start trading these in. Well, I think we're going to get beat to death by this Heart of Kieran. I don't know. I mean, if we get Arcades down, then we're not going to, like, it's not going to be a problem. Like, Arcades can block it. Scrap Heap Scrounger. We got blocks for you for days, buddy. We can block him for days. And if we get to 4, we get Golden Guardian down, and, like, then we start profitably blocking. Like, we can actually shut down swings with Golden Guardian. So, oh, that thing's gonna drive me nuts. Wow. All right. Okay. So, I really just want to take. What are you doing? You not want to swing? I'm interested. I'm interested in what kind of bluff could we have going with our 1 white, 1 blue mana and our Defenders of the Galaxy. I'm just going to chump block here. Chump, chump. Chump, chump. Chump. Yep. Trolling. Float of white. Trolling with our defenders. This is almost like, oh, I just want to get this down, because then we block and we do some serious stuff. Like 4 mana either get us to the Golden Guardian, where we can start, chumping that way, or 4 mana get us to Arcade. Yeah. We need land and Thopter Arrest off the top. Both. Yeah, we gotta have both. Yeah, because we can't cast to stop or rest. Well, guys, these green decks, they running over. They're taking over, guys. Taking over. Well, there's not a lot we can do here except for just pass the turn. We have defenders. We can't attack. We're kind of getting hosed on the land situation, so kind of want to just go ahead and get into the next game. I don't think we can come back from a Galta here. I mean, we need 2 draws to even have an out to a Galta. So, yeah, we'll scoop it up to Galta. And then I think we just need more Thopter Arrest. Ixalan's Binding might be a little much. And then I still want the Shala. Like, I just think she's so good. Bookcase is like my first out here. And then, like, what else do we take out? A wall? I mean, that, yeah. I think it's just a wall of vines. Okay, we're on the play, and here we go. So we've got Thopter Arrest, we've got we've got stuff. We just need to draw lands. We've got 2 in our opening hand. Yeah, I would prefer 3, but like chances of having 2 in our 6 is going to be even less. So we just gotta hope that the one on top is also a land, or the one under that, you know. Even coming in a couple turns late wouldn't be like just absolutely horrible. As long as we get land. We have to have land here. Scrappy, we can block him next turn. Scrap Heap don't scare us. We ain't scared. We scared now. Now we scared. We didn't get a land. Still no land. So, yeah. I mean, as far as Arcades' first ability goes, Mentor of the Meek will give you that, and it's a lot more flexible. Man, just this land situation has been horrible. Land off the top gives us Thopter Arrest. I'm going to block. I mean, I hope that he uses a card like some kind of, you know, Pump Spell, Blossoming Defense to just, you know, yeah, absolutely. Oh man, how lucky can we get? So I want to just use Thopter Arrest here and like take out the Scrap Heap Scrounger. This feels bad, man. Feels real bad not having this. Like, I'm going to take out Scrappy. I really am. Like, he might have answers here with Heart of Kirin, but to me, it looks like he wanted to get the ground clear so he could start getting in on the ground as well. And if that is the case, then see, that didn't care about my defenders. Come on, lands. We need lands. We need lands. A bunch of them. Just back-to-back runner land. Let's do this. He cruised the heart. Smacks us in the face for 4. Yeah, that's going to happen. And smack. Oh, man. This is brutal. Brutal. Land of War Elves for the opponent. And he puts his Consulate Skygate. At least it's a playable card. I mean, hard to gripe about something I can actually play at this point. Though, I mean, now he's swinging with the Still Leaf Champion. He's not really worried about being in the air. I mean, if he does get another 3-drop or 3-power creature, then he can crew the heart, and he's coming at us anyway. All right, so maybe I just should have mulliganed to, a handful of land and just play everything that comes off the top, but I'm not feeling this game. There's a land. And another one. Nope. Nope. We'd be dead. We'd be long dead by now. Yep. So yeah, that's brutal. Brutal. Definitely think that you want some way to be able to make your little dudes, trade. You can still, like, as far as the argument over dive down versus blossoming defense, they're going to do the same thing. You will have to use a little bit more green mana to be able to make this work, but actually the green mana base is kind of tailored for it. I mean, our next land was the green source, so when it comes to blossoming defense over dive down, yeah, you're going to be able to get that one extra point sometimes, but most of the time you're going to be able to get some type of value out of the 2 points of power that you can add to your defenders. So I think that you're still giving, blossoming defense still gives 2 toughness, guys. So unless you're just wanting, additional, toughness additional toughness to have that equal power, I think just having the blossoming defense is going to be better because it's +2/+2. And I don't know if you have to be able to protect Arcades if you get it down. We were unable to do so. There's the flying, just not being able to fight back is absolutely horrible. So, I like the idea of the deck. I just think that we're probably running like way too many. You could run, I know you guys are looking for dive down or blossoming defense. Let's look up blossoming defense. Do I have any of those? There we go. I actually think it should be blossoming defense. I don't have them. I'll need to get some. But blossoming defense, and then if you're going to cut anything else, cut the bookcase. I know that the bookcase is going to allow you to get through from time to time, and then as far as the big defender wall, I think that it's probably a little overpriced for not really doing a whole lot. And then I would kind of go from here and just fill it in with some good creatures. Like, you might not even need Mentor the Meek, but I do like Mentor the Meek. So as far as defenders go, you might be able to use some of the defenders, but definitely get some sealaways or something like that in here. So sealaway. Is it 2 words? I hope it's 2 words. We'll see. Yeah. So we'll pull some sealaways. This is going to actually give you, an answer to a lot of creatures. Knights are going to be a little bit of a problem, but other than that, I think just Arcades alone is a really good strategy. Having some of these big dudes like your Golden Guardians and your Consulate Skygates and stuff like that, it's going to come in handy later. Being able to draw cards is going to be really, really good. And another thing you might want to consider is maybe a Catcher's Monument or something like that. It'll work really well with your Mentor the Meek, and even though it's not making your creatures actually cost less, it would make Arcades cost 3, but it's not going to make most of your creatures cost less because you do have like Consulate Skygate, and these are colorless creatures, so you're not going to get that benefit, but you're still going to get a creature token every time you cast a creature. So if you want to up the rest of the other 2 cards here with a couple other just interesting cards that might be able to help you prolong the game, get into that late game, put more defenders down, give you actually a little bit more power on the battlefield. That's the thing that I think this deck needs the most is power. You need some kind of creature that can attack, maybe even Lyra. And if this is Justin, yeah, Blob Boy Justin, I know you've got some Lyras, man. You gotta be loving the Angels, but I don't expect you to be playing with this deck anyway. I expect you to probably play, black white. Black white angels looks really good right now. Black white knights looks really good right now. So I kind of figure you're there. I do think that the one thing that you want in this deck more than anything else is probably going to be some way to protect that Arcades, because if you are going to get this to go off, then you're going to have to go wide, build that, build a barrier, and once you've built your wall, if you will, then just kind of like slam that Arcades and enter combat. The bad part would be, a Vraska's Contempt blowout will be devastating. You're going to tap all of your defenders. You're going to enter combat, and you're going to tap them, and they can actually attack. So they're all going to be tapped and attacking. One Vraska's Contempt or an activated Fatal Push is going to, get rid of your Arcades. At that point, they're no longer going to assign combat damage the way that Arcades says they will, and you're going to be attacking with a bunch of 0/6s and things like that. And it leaves you susceptible to something much, much worse than like a 2-for-1 blowout. You're going to be swinging for the kill, and then you're going to go shields down more than likely. So I really am a little bit worried about that. So that's why I say, out of all things, just some way to protect that Arcades so that you can actually make it through, to the damage step of the attack phase. So that's kind of like my feedback on the deck. I think you got these like 2 slots or so here that you could probably turn into almost anything you want. Maybe even more Blossoming Defense, or maybe even 2 Dive Down. Like, it may not be a bad thing to just have an abundance of ways to protect your key creatures here. There's a couple different ways. Like, there's even an enchantment that you could put on him to make him hexproof, things like that. So, there's some ideas there, but definitely Blossoming Defense or Dive Down. And honestly, it would probably fit a little bit better, like, just like that. Giving yourself a little bit of both. You could split it the other direction if you wanted, but just like the element of hexproof is probably more important than, are you going to hit for 1 extra damage, or are you going to be able to kill something in a block because you used the spell. So, all right, guys, that's my thoughts. That is Justin Blob Boy's deck, or Blob Boy Justin's deck. If you want to give him some feedback on that deck, there's a link in the description box below. To take you directly over to the Reddit where this deck was posted, and you can kind of take a look at that and give him your feedback. Remember, as always, let's stay polite. Use your I statements. I believe this, I believe that. It's hard to do. It is really hard to do, and you'll catch yourself constantly saying, you do this, or you. But try to be conscious of that. When we're typing something up to people, and we'll I believe this, and give your opinion, and you'll definitely come off a lot better, I promise. Anyway, get over to the Reddit, give some feedback, post your decks, and I'm going to be pulling these decks every week now. So whichever deck gets the most votes per week. So if your deck's 2 weeks old, you need to repost something else. Get some more ideas floating out there. You need something that's going to get some votes. But I'm just going to be pulling the past week, and I'll pull those every Sunday. So Sunday to Sunday, and then of course, don't forget to build for Liliana's contract. There's already a couple decks going around. Dev built his. Saffron Olive played his. Liliana's contract was the definite build around. I want to see your guys' take on, how would you abuse this card? Are you trying for the demons? Are you trying for the arcane adaptation? Are you trying to just draw some cards in a control deck, for 5 mana? 4 cards, 5 mana, 4 life. Whatever. Who cares, right? Anyway, my name's Eric. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you've had fun. Don't get triggered too much. Don't get triggered by the thumbnail. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I know. It's wrong. Right? Later, guys.